What is up, blockchain gang? This is the Danny Draghi Show, and today we are going to rant about how the devs are ruining MIR M. To be clear, I am not saying the game is ruined, dead, or even dying, but if the developers keep listening to the player base and implementing changes to the economy based on their recommendations, we will all continue to suffer.
Bro, but what about the bots?
Shut the f up about the bots. I will get to them in a second. However, we must first look at how the economy was supposed to be set up to understand the intent of the original designs. Copper, for instance, was supposed to have marketable value in the form of ancient silver coins. It was designed to present players with an opportunity cost. If they spent their copper on one thing, they would be unable to spend their copper on another thing, unless they spent real money or gold on more copper. Did you want extra summons, enhancements, or to grind high-level monsters and burn through a ton of potions because you were unable to have it all? This began the flood of 4 days and 4 nights of Care Bear tears on the Discord who wanted their proverbial cake and to eat it too, just like they saw the spenders doing. The knee-jerk reaction of the devs was to pay all the players off with generous helpings of additional copper and racks of healing and mana pots in both mid and large variety, simply for logging in. This was probably due to all of the other bugs that came out at launch taking a long time to be resolved, so they felt compelled to do something immediately. This equated to flooding the servers with trillions of copper and made players happy only in the short term. All it did for me was allow me to shut off my brain because my decisions no longer mattered anymore due to all of this patty cake baby bullshit. But the biggest effect it had was on bots. Now instead of running around with destroyed gear, 0 copper, and 5% health, we have bots running around with unlimited health and respawns and a market value of 0.01 gold per 10,000 copper. Way to go, team.
Bro, one case could be a coincidence, so don't go spouting your conspiracy theory nonsense unless you can connect it with the second example.
I didn't say I was done yet. The next system was designed to limit abuse of the Wayfarer market by requiring proof of play in order to utilize it. This included taking down field bosses, competing in PvP rumbles, and doing raids for raid tokens. This allowed free players to trade 50 tokens for 10 merit per week, and that was required to use the Wayfarer market. Now, I will be the first to admit that this system was very limited. It required players to invest a week of play in order to earn a single dollar at most, or they could spend fiat currency to buy products from the devs for additional merit. This is like paying to sell items at the flea market and was a terrible system since players were taxed so much for listing items, it forced them to undercut prices far more than normal to make sure their items would sell first. I can only assume the use of the market was far less than anticipated, but this could have been due to the limiting cost and also the wallet bug that would not allow players to use the market even if they desired to do so. Of course, this system was heavily criticized on Discord until it was changed early on to use copper instead. It should have been enhanced, in my opinion, by allowing players to purchase permanent slots on the Wayfarer market with merit. For example, the first week you get 10 merit, you could list 1 item at the Wayfarer shop. Another few more weeks, a free player could purchase an additional slot with 20 merit and sell 2 items at one time, and so on. This is limiting to bots and exploiters, but allows free players to grind enough slots over time and rewards loyal gameplay. So the biggest thing the devs could do to stop bots is to go back to the original design and tweak it slightly. Stop giving bots free copper and potions just for logging in, as someone who is playing 40 accounts at one time is gaining 40 times the advantage of a traditional player. Stop giving them free access to the Wayfarer market no matter how much players cry when they should just get good. And no, I'm not going to make a guide on how I deal with bots. These are not hackers. They are just basic bitch macros, and if you can't figure out how to beat them yourself or make a friend to help you clear them out, then go watch a Disney Plus movie about the power of friendship or some shit. Every time I try to give out tips about bots, it gets ratioed into non-existence, as if I'm supporting the bots, or we made by trying to make your life a tiny bit easier. The only thing the devs really held firm on was the mining and gold selling rights passes. Of course, this was complained about more than anything at launch, and it has not stopped the bots from being omnipresent in the valleys, but I believe it has kept the price of the token stable enough. I would prefer if the rights were combined into one pass for $10, which could be paid for with Wemix, and at least half going to burn the tokens instead of directly to the developers and Zola. A great developer once said, players are amazing at pointing out what is wrong with your game, but terrible at coming up with solutions, such as opening new servers. One of the most requested things by players is for the company to open new servers of the game. They even go so far as to accuse the devs of racial and regional preferences because their region doesn't have as many servers as another. Some people don't understand the concept of math or that servers cost money to operate, which means the company will not open new servers until they are literally forced to do so because the amount of players that are continuously logged in for that region would otherwise make the game unplayable. unplayable. This means that if you don't have login queues in the most recently opened servers, they will not be opening a new server anytime soon. What is more important is that more servers equal more dark steel and more bosses and more drops, thereby causing inflation to erode the value of all items prematurely. I am watching people who are waiting for a week or more, begging to get punched in the balls so they don't have to start 4 whole days behind somebody else. Rant over. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can do this again sometime.